The London Guard have a new head coach. Let's talk about it. That's right. That's right. That's right. The London Guard of the EFA have a new head coach. That's right. The man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Weidinger is returning back to Europe in head coach form, right? To be the first coach of the London Guard of the European Football Alliance. What does this mean? How should we feel? Let's talk about it. Athletes Forum Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Drop a comment. This is the interactive podcast. You guys know how this works. My guy Andrew Weidinger. He's a friend of the show, friend of the pod, as the saying goes, right? Becoming the first head coach of the London Guard. When London Guard were announced in the European Football Alliance, I said this offseason is going to be ruled by London, going to be determined by London, right? They are the dictators in this offense. And I don't just mean the London Guard. I mean the London Warriors as well, too, of the American Football League Alliance. They are going to dictate and determine what this offense is going to look like, because we have one team in the London Warriors who have proof of concept, right? You have one team in the London Warriors who have proof of concept, who has been there and done it, right? You have another team that's starting from the ground up, right? But that one team starting from the ground up has ownership that knows how to run the business, right? That knows how to run an operation, right? That has made millions and millions of dollars, pounds, whatever you want to call it, right? And that have been successful, right? And if you have a successful owner to run an organization that knows how to run a business, honestly, you created a foundation, which is half the battle. Because when you're recruiting players and you're recruiting talent, you got to get guys that are going to trust what they're doing, trust that you're going to set them up in regards to healthcare, travel, lodging, room, right? Transportation, right? And they're not going to have to wait to get paid. They're not going to have to miss any payments. They're not going to be stuck in a foreign country or a country not of their own looking for answers. London Guard are off to the right foot. So, Andrew Weidinger, my guy. Who is he? Well, if you don't know Andrew Weidinger, you must be new to European football just in general. This guy has time in the NFL. We talked about the Bucs, talked about Atlanta, but I don't really want to go that route. I want to talk about what he's done in Europe, right? He revived a country, a city in the Barcelona Dragons, gave them hope, gave that fan base something to cheer from. All 900 of the Barcelona Dragons fan base, plus Jordan from Fourth Down Fiasco, gave them a entertaining product with most of the guys who were there the year before, and they weren't that great. Listen, it just is what it is. Took them to the playoffs. Still to this day, one of your favorite team, right? What did he do after that? He went on to join the Rhein Fire in an offensive coordinator position where he was able to coach guys like Jadrian Clark, guys like Glenn Tunga, right? Just a couple MVPs, nothing major, right? Some O-linemen too, all right, and some other receivers in skill positions. You think about Brian Winters, you think about Willie Patterson, Nathaniel Robitaille. Like I could go on and on, right? He knows how to put people in position to win, right? So much, though, that once he was done with the Rhein Fire offensive coordinator position, he became the head coach of Madrid, went back to Spain, right? Seems like that's where his European coaching roots are, right? What did he do in Madrid? Offensive Player of the Year, Aaron Crushing, MVP of the season in Reece Sinet, and gave Madrid a entertaining product, made them to the playoffs, gave them hope, right? So when you think about some of the top football in Spain, you have to think about Andrew Weidinger. When we think about some of the top offensive minds in Europe, you have to think about Andrew Weidinger. And here he is, about to do it again, becoming the head coach of the new franchise London Guard. Now, if I know Andrew Weidinger, I'm not speaking for him, but if I know him like I think I know him, he's not joining a program based off previous experience that he doesn't trust and believe in, right? That he doesn't think has the best interest at heart of development, growing the game, and running a proper operation, right? So London Guard already off to a great start. And not to mention, who doesn't want to play for Andrew Weidinger, right? See, this is the battle we're going to get in the offseason between the two London teams, is that you're going to watch what the London Guard are doing and be like, all right, Warriors, what are you doing? Like, who is going to be your coach to go up against Andrew Weidinger when it comes to recruiting talent? Because I can tell you right now, I know guys, and I can name quite a few who would love to play for Andrew Whitaker, who wish they played for Andrew Whitaker, who will want to be coached by Andrew Whitaker because of the success that he's had with a Zach Edwards, with a Jadrian Clark, with a Reese Sinnett, right? I'm curious who his quarterback's going to be. He has connections, right? Is it someone that's currently playing, right? Is it someone we don't know about? That's what Reese Sinnett was. First year in Europe, Madrid, we learned a lot about Reed, right? And him and Andrew were on the same page, right? And that's kind of like how it has to be as well too, right? Receivers, if you're a receiver and you saw what he's done with a Triple Crown winner in Kyle Sweet, Aaron Cruikshank, another Triple Crown winner, right? Willie P. If you're an import receiver, why wouldn't you want to go play for Coach Weidinger, right? Just doesn't make sense. Not a logical decision, right? To say, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good, right? So the London Guard already making history and making a mark on what the offseason is going to look like, especially heading into championship weekend and what it's going to look like after championship weekend, because there's going to be a race for talent. Just think about, you look all over the league, you look at some of the best talent that comes from the UK, comes from London, and where they're spread out at, right? If these guys just return home, let that sink in. These guys just return home. Let's think. You got the obvious Glenn Tunga, right? You got the obvious and Chad Walren. You got a young guy like Brian Winters at receiver, right? You got some offensive linemen and Lewis Thomas, Connor Bolton, right? There's some guys that are going to give whatever London team, they're going to give them a strong homegrown presence. And then you just add the European talent to it, whoever's going to want to join, right? If you haven't sent your film, I'm sorry, Andrew, for doing this. I'm sorry, William, for doing this. If you have not sent your film to General Manager William of the Guard, Head Coach Andrew Weidinger of the London Guard, you're already behind the eight ball, right? If you haven't sent your film to Matt Bressington, right, who not just has a strong scouting foundation in Europe, right? But come on now, right? If I know there's a scout out there that has connections, whoever those connections are, right? And I want him to just evaluate me, why wouldn't you send it to Matt Bressington, right? Why wouldn't you send it to Matt? Guy has connections with scouts in the league. I'll just leave it at that. I won't throw your business out there, Matt. But listen, London Guard made a statement. Andrew Weidinger is the new head coach, right? Hey, Athletes Forum Podcast Locker Room, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. Instant reaction, had to jump on here and give it to you guys. Subscribe to the new channel, right? Athletes Forum Podcast. Subscribe to First Down Magazine. Also, let's get ready for the championship game this weekend, Munich versus Nordic. We're going to break that down. I know I've been MIA a little bit, doing a lot of college stuff, but I can't forget. I started this for a reason. We're going to break that down this week. Munich Ravens, Nordic Storm. Who's the first EFA champion? We'll see.